Hello everybody, welcome back. This is your friend Trickman01, and I said we were gonna talk about data tags today, but what I actually wanted to talk about instead were the properties of command blocks. We'll still get into data tags in a later episode, probably the next one, but right now I just wanted to go over like I said, the physical properties of the command blocks. So let's go ahead and get started. In front of us, we have a command block. The only way to get a command block in Minecraft, even in creative mode, is to use the command give a player or give yourself the tile ID of 137, and you can get a command block. Now, as you can see, I'm in survival mode. You can see the hearts and the hunger bar at the bottom. And then what you can do in survival mode, as you actually cannot destroy a command block by a player who's in survival or adventure. The only way you can destroy it is if you're in creative mode. So let's go ahead and get back into creative mode. Now when you right click on a command block, it lets you execute your command just like you would execute it in the chat bar. The difference is you don't have to type in the / before you execute a command in the command block, because if it's in the command block, the game already knows you want to execute a command. This command block also has nothing in it, but I wanted to show you that the command block acts like a physical solid block when you're using redstone. In other words, it can be strongly powered and weakly power the blocks next to it, as you can see. But if I were to put more redstone lamps, they would not be powered. So it works just like normal solid block in terms of transmitting redstone power. And just to show that as well, I can also show you that if it's weakly powered, it will not transmit a redstone signal. This one's being transmitted through the sandstone block. So it works just like solid blocks in that essence. The command block cannot be pushed by a piston. Now this command block is constantly updating, as you can see. And what I have here is a test4 command that tests to see if I'm standing on top of the command block. So when that's true, when the last command that was used in a command block is true after it's been updated, how do I say this right? Every time the command block is powered, it'll output either a true or false signal, and if it's hooked up to a comparator, the comparator will turn on if the signal is true, if the command was executed successfully. So you can see when I step off, it becomes false, so it's no longer outputting a signal. When I step back on, it's outputting a signal because the command is true. So what I have here is I have test4 a player, the coordinates on top of the command block, and then 65536. And I know that's a large radius, but it'll actually only check for the player in that block just because of the way the game does its math. So right now it's outputting a true because I'm standing here, but if I move over here, it's outputting a false signal or no signal. Now the unfortunate part about that is that on this command I have it set to give me a command block, 64 command blocks actually, but you can see that the signal will stay true until it receives redstone power, and the output is no longer true, or it did not successfully execute. So basically there's no real way to turn that off if you have something as simple as like a give command. The way you can kind of work around that is with this little setup right here, where you have this redstone torch going into the side of the comparator, because the command block output is going to be, under normal circumstances, about 1, maybe no more than 3 or 4. So what it does is it basically outputs the number of times it was successful. So like the test4 command, if I had this set to A and there were 3 of us standing on here, the signal strength would actually be 3. But right now this comparator is receiving from the side a signal strength of 15. And it's only going to receive a signal strength of 1 from the command block. Under normal circumstances, it won't be more than 14, so this should work in most cases. And what this does is, even if the command block is outputting true, it won't allow this comparator to turn on except for a split second. So when you power this button, it powers the command block. If the signal from the command block is true, it'll try to output a signal, and then this button will also turn off this redstone torch. And while that's off, it'll allow the comparator to turn on for the length of the button pulse if the command block output was true. If the command block output was false, it still won't turn on because it was a false signal. And then that allows it to use the next to transmit the power to the next block. And then this repeater just acts as a normal block, because whenever this receives power, whether the signal is true or not, the repeater will output that to the next block that you have set up. So in this one, I have it actually set up as a little experience shop. So what I have set up is testing for a player with a minimum level of 5. And if I was going to actually set this up in an adventure world, I'd want a small radius here to test for within the length of the button press. That way it's not searching the whole world. And then I have it set up to take 5 levels from the player, and I could actually do that LM equals 5. And you could actually skip this command block and just use this one. Let me turn down the music. Anyways, and so after that works, so this will make sure you have the levels before we take it from the player in adventure, because we don't want to take all their levels and not let them have anything in return. Whoops. It'll actually give the player an iron sword, and this one should actually be set to XP the player. Wait, hold on. Never mind. I don't know why that command block's there. It shouldn't be. But anyways, and then after that's successful, this one will actually give the player an iron sword. So I could have actually moved this command block here, but I just wanted to show the properties of the repeater. So let's go ahead and see how that works. So let's go into game mode 0. You can see my my levels went down by 5, and it gave me a iron sword. And then again, it gave me an iron sword again. One more time, but now you can see my levels are only 3. So you see it's not going to take my levels because I don't have enough levels to buy an iron sword with. And you could actually condense this down quite a bit. I just kind of wanted to show the different properties of the different things. So if this output is true, it's always going to power this block as well as these blocks because of the repeater here. But if this output is not true, nothing gets powered. So then I have these hooked up to a timer. And the reason I have these hooked up to a timer is because I actually wanted to show how you could use command blocks to create a low health alert in your adventure map. So there's a fun game out there where if you get less than so many hearts, it actually beeps at you so that you get you know your hearts are low. You may need to play a little bit more carefully. So then what I have this done is it's set to go beep beep whenever my health is 3 hearts or less. So let's go ahead and we'll teleport myself. Let's see, 3 hearts. 18. So we want to take away 17. So we want to go up about 20 blocks, I think. So now you see these command blocks here are actually creating a low health indicator for me. But when my health goes back above 3 hearts, let's go ahead and jump into game mode 1 for a second. And of course you have to have the scoreboard system enabled with a health scoreboard in order for this to work. I'll show you the commands here in just a second, but let's go ahead and grab some golden apples. Go back into game mode 0. And now you can see, now that my health is back above 3 hearts, the sound has stopped. Forgot about the absorption effect with the golden apples. But if I was to fall again, well, let's go ahead and look at the command first. And then I can actually do this a little bit better with a cactus. So let's grab some sand. Let's grab a cactus. And we'll go back in the game mode 1. Sorry, game mode 0. So, you can see I have 4 hearts, 3.5, no sound, 3, and then the sound starts going off. So let's go ahead and look at the command for this. So the command I have is a play sound command. Then I use note.playing as the sound I want it to play. Who do I want to play it to? I want it to play it to all players who have a score health of no more than 6. And then a score health minimum of 1, so it won't play to the players who are on the death screen. I want it to play from basically the command block's location with a volume of 10, a pitch of 2, and a minimum volume of 1. So what that minimum volume means is that no matter where in the world the player is, as long as this chunk is loaded, it'll play that sound to all the players who have a health score of between 1 and 6, which is 3 hearts. Between half a heart and 3 hearts. And then I have the exact same command over here, except the pitch is set to 1.5. So then, I'm sure you figured out by now that this is more or less taken from the Legend of Zelda series. And then in the Legend of Zelda series, you can also go to the Great Fairy Fountain. So I have a command block actually hidden under the fountain right there. And it's the command I have is set to detect the player standing on this block. And then it'll heal them like the Great Fairy when they're standing on this block and they press the button. So you can see no effect. No effect. Oops. No effect. But if I'm standing on this red tile here, I get healed like the Great Fairy would heal you in The Legend of Zelda. So that's basically how command blocks work in a nutshell. And I hope you guys learned something from this. Just remember the physical properties of the command blocks that you can use when you're creating your maps or your PvP games or whatever you're trying to design. So in the next episode, we'll talk more about like I said, data tags, and I'm actually probably going to do a mini-sode here in just a second. I'll record it about the set block command. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative and helpful. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a great time. I know I had a fun time making it. So that's all I got for today. Bye bye now.